Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Nulaini binti Ramli, and I will present to you the introduction of public safety and security policy. On August 21, 1957, Tunku Abdul Rahman Putra Al-Haj declared that the country will remain an independent and sovereign nation based on freedom and justice, and always taking care of priorities of well-being and prosperity of its people and maintaining peace among all nations. On August 31, 1957, Tunku Abdul Rahman Putra Al-Haj declared that the country will remain an independent and sovereign nation and based on freedom and justice, and always taking care of prioritize the well-being and prosperity of its people and maintaining peace among all nations. Therefore, since the early stage of post-independence, efforts have been made to ensure that the country is free of extremism. Therefore, in maintaining public safety and security, the participating of different groups, including non-governmental organizations and the sector, to work together just to tackle crime and prevent bad aspects of our law is critical. The protection and security components of the country usually consist of two sectoral components, namely internal security and public order, which are the part of the Ministry of Home Affairs and of the Ministry of Defense for the defense of the country. Guidelines for handling potential risks and threats that interfere with the nation's health and freedom should be given. And the Division of Security Public Order operated under various internal security laws, including 1916 Internal Security Act, the 1969 Emergency Ordinance, the 1959 Crime Prevention Act, and the 1985 Dangerous Drug Acts. The unit shall be headed by a secretary at a level equal to the rank of General Office of the Army and shall report directly to the Secretary General of the Minister.
the proximity of illegal outsiders and outcasts not only has a negative impact on social, economic, criminal, political, and strategic ties, but can also compromise the security and cohesion of the country. This clearly shows that the immigration filtering system is still in a state of growth, as um, illegal immigrants are still being admitted and not a guaranteed citizen, making them unemployable in the government and not in the system. So this is a major problem when it comes to the image of Malaysia. This will lead to a rise in population expectations in Malaysia and will not include a comprehensive population figure in Malaysia. Um, Unregistered immigrants uh, and refugees are being sent to Malaysia without the knowledge of the government. This will increase the curiosity of security in Malaysia, as Malaysian people will question the border security in Malaysia. As This will also lead to more cases of robbery and murder, as most immigrants will become poor if they don't find a good job in Malaysia because they don't have registered papers. Um, so that's all from me. Thank you. The internet with easy access and accessibility has further increased the risk of digital attacks on the country's critical information infrastructure, network maltreatment, and digital surveillance. So, um, this increased the nation's threat, so Malaysia must be strict about internet filtering. Since modernization is advantageous in communication media, where people can abuse and expose people or nations to confidential files, which as a result endanger Malaysian position. This should always be centered and continuously fixed as modernization is in rapid progress, so that Malaysia must keep up with the pace so that there are no risks and unnecessary accidents either internally or internationally. So the last problem for this policy is illegal immigrant and refugee system. Harmony and rapid monetary growth delighted in by the country has brought illegal immigrant and displaced citizens to our shore. So
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So my name is Hanwat Farid Kushairi Binasni. My matrix number is 2020933851. So now I will talk about public safety and security, main objective and goals. So let's go. Okay, the first objective is prioritize the health of the people. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the government has increased security controls such as making roadblock, and beside that, the government also obliges all citizens to wear masks and always carry hand sanitizer everywhere, and not to forget about the social distancing. So the goal of the government of this objective is to eradicate this pandemic from our country. Okay, next is to ensure the safety of the people in the virtual world. For example, like cybercrime, as we all know that cybercrime is one of the serious crime in Malaysia nowadays, and the government has implemented the law. The reason of the government launched this law is due to the increase in cybercrime. Okay, so the goals of government is to reduce cybercrime in our country and improve cyber security in Malaysia. Okay, this is the third objective is to ensure the safety of children, for example, like child abuse. And Malaysian government has made a law on children. This is because the crime against children in Malaysia is increasing. Therefore, with this increase, the Malaysian government has take this problem seriously. Anyone who abuses a child will be fined Rm 50,000 and jail for 20 years or both. The main goals of the government is to reduce child abuse and ensure the well-being of future generations. Okay, the last objective is to ensuring the safety of the citizen on the road. For example, like drunk driver. And as we all know that road accidents are one of the biggest contributors to death worldwide, and nowadays there is a lot of news about drunk driver who hit civilians to death. The government's made laws on road transport, and this law has long been introduced, but there are still many rare road users who are still stubborn. But therefore, anyone who drive while drunk will be fined not less than Rm 8,000 and not more than Rm 20,000. So the government goals in formulating this law is to reduce criminal case of driver under the influence of alcohol and to protect public safety while on the highway. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, hello, my name is Daniel Agustin Richard. My matrix number 2020-344-275. In this video, I'm going to explain two parts, which is actors and strategies implementation. Okay, first, actor is a group of person that involved with any policy process. First sector is full agency involvement government, and all parties including the private sector, non-governmental organization and communities should be mobilized as a shared national responsibility. This is to achieve the objectives and goals of this policy. Next, the federal government. The federal government that establish a close working relationship with the government state, the private sector, non-governmental organization, communities, and stakeholders in ensuring the implementation of the public safety and security policy achieve success as intended. And the last one for actor is Ministry of Home Affairs that do a collaboration with various departments and agencies that periodically publish reports on a travel and implementation progress this policy. To implement such reporting, there is two monitoring mechanism created, namely the Supreme Committee that chaired by the Minister of Home Affairs, with its member include the Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, the Minister of Defense, and the other relevant minister. Okay, we move to the part of strategies. First one is guard the Constitution, the standard of law and nation's fundamental foundation. For an example, the Federal Constitution of Malaysia touches on various aspects of governance, such as freedom of rights, the powers and status of Yang di-Pertuan Agong, the privileges of the Malay rulers and special right of the Malay, the issues of Bahasa Melayu, religion, citizenship, and judiciary. Hence, the people will feel assured and feel protected by the existence of the Constitution. Next, improving governance, administration, and integrity enforcement security agency. It was the source of strength of our government, as they were the person who worked straightforwardly to serve and to deal with the citizens' well-being. For instance, the government will take a strict action to the personnel that involves in corruption, as we can refer to the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Act 2009, or in Malay, Akta Suranjaya Pencegahan Rasuah Malaysia 2009, which is a law in Malaysia to make sure that the personnel will be more honest while serving for the country. The third one is strengthening country's boundaries security. We know that our country, Malaysia, always has illegal immigrants. For an example, the immigration department of Malaysia needs to be more strict in terms of handling the legal immigrants by sending them back to their own country. Thus, the country can reduce the amount of illegal immigrants in the country, and the citizen will also feel that the government are competent in handling the issues and problem in the country. Okay, fourth, strategies that fight against drug. Drug is a medicine and a substance of chemical that were given to people in order to treat or prevent an illness or disease. However, misuse of drug can lead to many effects on our body. For an example, the drug can affect human brain by changing how the brain processing and interfere with a person's ability. The National Anti-Drugs Agency Officers Association, or in Malay, Agensi Anti Dada Kebangsaan, needs to do their job on controlling the spreading of being a drug addicted by giving awareness about effect of taking drugs. Hence, the citizens will be more aware of the consequence and they will avoid from taking drugs as it brings bad impact to human body and healthy. Next, number 5, decrease the violent crime and criminal involvement. This can enhance the public safety and security by shut down or suppress the illegal secondary market in firearms that help the terrorists do their evil job. Government also encourage that each family has their own safe gun storage in their home, including storing guns unloaded and away from ammunition. This also helps the innocent person to defend themselves from being hit by the enemy. Second last point, having a good and close relationship between another country, especially United States of America. This is a purpose to have a backup and partner if something happens or our country got surprise attacked by another country. These strategies are always used from every country to have a better defensive of a country from being attacked. So the last one is improving the anti-scam security and detector in a social media. For an example, if the first person wants to buy stuff from the second person which selling a stuff, the government should launch rules for making a deal, such as having a third person or is known as middleman, to make sure there is no scamming happens between them when dealing, because money is not a fun to play. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Muhammad Amirul bin Jamin. Matrix ID 2020-16-2163 from group PAD104 to A2. Alright, I will explain the effectiveness of government public safety and security using SWOT analysis, namely strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and even threats. SWOT means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. SWOT analysis is a method of analyzing internal factors that a business can handle and external factors that it cannot handle. Firstly is strengths. The strength of government's public safety and security often is the unity of our forces under the auspices of the nation government, the importance of cooperation from all races without having to question their respective right to ensure the country continues to progress. All Malaysians will be defended and no one will be marginalized. Um, Computer software and hardware system protected by firewalls, anti-malware, and antivirus programs. That is example of strengths. There are also weaknesses found in the political system. When the higher the apathy and passive attitude of the people, the higher the monopoly and manipulation of the elite to the people. Government public safety and security is also not determined by the people but determined by the elite. In fact, the role of the people is only during election to determine who will rule. Lack of funds for security purposes is an insurmountable weakness. Consider the cost of a security breach you face while losing equipment, cells or time, then allocate funds to cover areas with the highest potential losses. You can overcome the weak attitude of the workforce towards safety with additional training and encouragement. Not imposing intellectual property protection is a weakness that can result in weak branding and lost sales. Gentleness is in updating software protection is another drawback. Fixing some shortcomings, such as installing a new security system, will cost a lot of money. Thirdly is opportunity. The opportunity created because of this government's public safety and security is the introduction of new economic policy, at least as bridge the economic gap between the races even though it has not fully achieved its goal. The government plays a direct role in planning, implementing, financing, and managing heavy industries, as the private sector can pay the burden or risk in dealing with projects that not only involve large losses but can also provide long-term profits. New security systems and products come to market frequently. For example, cloud computing provides small business data storage only when businesses need it. Lastly is the threat. The threat facing security, policy, and public order is unlike a crime. It's like a crime. Security risks and threats do not lie solely on the shoulders of government agencies. On the other hand, the involvement of all parties, whether private, non-governmental organizations, communities, and individuals, is needed as a strategic partner of the government in channeling information, volunteering, and performing corporate social responsibility (CSR) in order to maintain national security. Moreover, the core that threatens this policy is the growing drug symptoms among adolescents and adults. This problem is compounded by the existence of new synthetic drugs that are easier to produce and distribute. These symptoms need to be addressed by providing a comprehensive and balanced approach through treatment, rehabilitation, law enforcement, and the enforcement of punishment to offended, offenders. In this way, drug trafficking, distribution, and abuse are no longer seen as global across border, but they are only a domestic problem. Therefore, various parties need to work together to combat drug trafficking within the country so that the main thrust that disrupt national policy that not does not become a such of national threat. Mother Nature is another security threat in the face of storms, fires, earthquakes, and floods. Back up important information and documents to help prepare for this disaster. You also need to you also need to know and manage new computer viruses, hacking, and phishing attacks. Make sure your computer system is protected with the latest and greatest antivirus software. That also come from dissatisfied customer, dissatisfied employees, or unethical competitors. They may try to talk negatively about your business on websites or social media site. You should do a regular business search to find out who made negative comments about it. If the comment is incorrect or unfair, do something. Reply to them with your own comments or address them on your own website. For conclusions, entrepreneurs need to make a SWOT security analysis for your own business. Perform a surprise audit on employees to see if they are following company policy. Follow your own safety measures so that employees have a good examples and can avoid falling. I hope we can all master the use of soap because it is important to make it easier for us to manage something that refers to business.
Hello, my name is Kit Qzek Siguti from Group AM1102A2 and I'm here to make the part of recommendation. Okay, now I'm going to talk about is the recommendation of the effectiveness of public safety and security policy. The first recommendation that I would like to say is that people should get serious when it comes to choosing their leaders as it affects their public safety. Why? It's because some elites and rulers only tend to care about their income and status when they become recognized highly in a country. Meaning, the elites and rulers abusively use their power against the people. So, we only can voice ourselves during the election through votes and campaigns. So that's why we should be smart in choosing our leader. Next, the next recommendation is elites of all agencies such as private, non-governmental organizations, communities and individuals to start channeling information to stop this once and for all. And by the meaning of this is that I mean drug trafficking. The main thing avoiding to its full potential is that people of drug addicts are all around the world right now. No matter how safe and secure your country are, drug trafficking or drug addicts are always there. Drug trafficking, distribution, and abuse are happening in our country with less information to get rid of it. This is because people with from the dark side have this power of money, and so because of that, information of their business of drugs are hard to get rid of. Next is double standards. Most people with high status tend to disobey the law and do whatever they want because of bribed lawyers and securities working under their paycheck. I highly recommend that the Law Institute will take this problem and be rational and neutral about their decision. This goes many ways for the public safety as innocent lives will be taken wrongly because the ones with higher thus disobeys the rule. This is, I was talking about the COVID-19 outbreak. During this CMCO, or MCO, we can see that a lot of people, knowingly that they have high status in the country, disobey this MCO rule and go to crowded places without a mask or making an open house together. With this, our leaders not obeying a rule of an outbreak will not cure the country, rather make it more worse. This should be stopped so that we all can go back to our normal lives, because the ones without power are doing their best to survive and obeying the rule. Lastly, I recommend that all business organizations will ensure that all digital devices such as computers, laptops, and mobile phones will have an antivirus system in it. Cyber attack, where it occurs from the inside, where a virus can gather important information regarding a company's secret, meaning this usually occur from unloyal employees because they want to ruin a business or the organization. Not only here, but also at schools. Cyber attacks are now common in businesses, so that's why I recommend that the founder of the organization should put an antivirus system inside all their mobilized items. That is all from me. Thank you.
In conclusion, the public safety and security policy outlines the national security outlook that is linked to internal and external environments. The government must uphold the fundamentals enshrined in the federal constitution in order to accomplish this purpose, as well as ensure that the country accepts safety and security. The core concepts of the public safety and security policy have been holistically developed by taking into account that main elements of a state, such as land, government, citizens, sovereignty, and popular support. And each 3 years, the development of the public safety and security strategy will be checked and maintained by a ministerial or departmental or agency-level coordinating committee chaired by the Director General of National Security to ensure that efficacy of the public safety and policy strategies. And last but not least, the achievement of the public safety and security policy will rely heavily on the dedication, coordination, and assistance of all ministries, departments, and agencies of the federal and state, the public sector, NGOs, and the people. That's all from me. Thank you.